A big war like this is not nearly as scary as you may have thought it was before the last episode. So I hope that you guys are learning how to manage when outnumbered. I hope that you guys are all having a wonderful day, and welcome back to the EU4, learning the EU4 with the EU4 with the Ottomans here. I am your host today, Chewy, and I hope that you guys are all having a wonderful day. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you have learned so far in this campaign, because I'm definitely curious and I like that sort of feedback. But what we're going to be doing today here, and by the way, I apologize, I've been changing around a couple of my mic settings, so if my voice sounds a little bit different, a little bit of feedback on that is appreciated as well. Obviously, I'm going to be messing around with it a bit in post as well. But all that stuff aside, we are going to be wrapping up a war today here with Austria-Hungary, with the intention of taking and releasing at least a couple of tags here. I am thinking that releasing a Transylvania as well as possibly a Croatia would be a good one. Releasing tags is really good, especially early on, because Reconquest is a very strong casus belli. Anyways, before we do anything too much, let's get over here and start kicking these people out of my lands, because these guys have no right to be sieging down my lands, especially the Brits. We have our navy out here hunting, so realistically the Brits should not be able to get anybody in. Despite the fact that they have a very large navy, we have a lot of galleys. Galleys get bonuses to inland seas, and I don't think I've explained that yet, so let me explain that real quick for you guys. Galleys here, so if we take a look over at our military tab, you can see here that galleys are 12 cannons versus 40 from a heavy. So obviously you look at a heavy and say, oh my gosh, heavies are tougher and deal more damage. They must be good, right? Kind of, sort of. So when you're taking a look at this, you want to stack up as many modifiers as you can. So we have the galley combat ability, which is useful. But the major thing is if you select a navy and you hover over an inland sea here, like this is an inland sea, galleys will be more effective, doing 100% more damage in combat against other non-galleys. That means a galley 1-to-1 against the heavy will still lose, but like 3 galleys against 1 heavy will sink it like very quickly and destroy it. And even then, in I think it was 1.31, they revamped it, so coasts will now give 50% galleys. So galleys got a huge buff in 1.31. Definitely encourage you to use your galleys. It's good to have a couple of heavies every once in a while, because galleys are good for naval morale. They keep the navy nice and beefy. But galley spam is realistically, it is the way to do it. All right, so we've won Zagreb. And what we plan to do is take Zagreb and then probably like Korelfold, or however this province is pronounced, and release Croatia from there. So those guys are heading into Athens, and what you want to do is just wait for them to head in and go wipe them out, of course. And so these guys are on this fort here, but you already guessed it, I'm not worried about it. So I'm going to detach a unit, and you can do that if you're standing an army over a siege and you'd like to detach the perfect amount. You just hit D and it detaches 1 unit. It's useful when you're in friendly territory, where you know that you're not going to need to worry about your army's taking attrition. But in other situations, like in hostile territory, it's not as good, because the attrition tick will keep them below the 1 that they need to be. All right, so you can see here we got lots of Janissaries. These guys are standing over here. I'm going to wait for the monthly tick, let them take their 3% attrition, because there's no reason not to. Oop. And if you're going to shift consolidate, and I've explained it, but shift consolidate, basically consolidate, what it does is it takes all of your armies and condenses them down into the fewest regiment stacks possible, while still having units in it. So there is no 0 stacks. If you shift consolidate, it will leave behind the 0 stacks and allow them to refill up. So like the ideal situation is you take your damaged regiments, get them out of there, have them go flee to somewhere that's a little more safe for them to recover, and you only send in your fully strength regiments. So these guys will be there on the 7th in Vidin, and we want to get there soon after. So September 12th, that is fine. This should be an absolute clap. And as you can see here, they lost quite heavy numbers. They're getting absolutely destroyed in this war. It's really not an issue for us. So I got a couple of comments about it, so I want to take some time to explain combat widths. So combat width is very, very, very important. It's something that you have to consider whenever you're in war. It comes naturally to me because I understand it, and I neglected to explain it much in the past. So let me take a moment. Combat width is how many units you can fit in both the front row and the back row. Front row meaning And it's easier if I just show you in a battle. But if you have men in the front row, it means it's going to be easier for men, or it's going to be easier to get off as much damage at the same time. So each unit can attack individual from other units. And let me see if I can get a battle over here and show you guys what I'm talking about. So these guys are over here. Right. All right. So let's get our 2-2 general in there. Ideally, we'd actually get this other guy over here, but this is fine. So we'll come into this battle, and you can see here, this is our front row. This is our back row, right? Front row, back row. And my UI looks different because I use Artemis, but the general gist is still going to be the same for you guys. These guys are cav. Cav flank. So these cav here, you can see these two cav are both flanking. Cav will automatically be distributed to the outside of your front line, so you don't have to worry about organizing that or anything like that. That's why generally what a lot of people will say is after you unlock upgraded artillery, it's best to take the money that you would be spending on a cav, because cav are very expensive, invest it into cannons, because cannons do damage from the back row. Otherwise, if you don't have cannons, your infantry will go in the back row and they will be reserves, quote unquote. They will do no damage. They just stand there and wait to fill in once this regiment in the front gets depleted. So the best way to do it is to have 2 to 4, 2, 4, 6 sometimes, depending on your modifiers. We don't have any cav modifiers, so we're going with 4 roughly. These cav will flank, because cav get flanking bonuses. Infantry generally will attack just across from themselves, and cannons do damage from the back. Cannons in the front line take double the damage that they would that infantry do. They receive 50% more damage. So let's just say this unit is dealing 1 unit of damage to here. If this cannon gets in the front row, it will take 2 units of damage. So artillery in the front row is very bad. However, cannons do double damage while in the front row. It's actually not exactly how it works, but essentially what it is cannons take or deal half damage while in the back row, and it's kind of a hidden modifier that a lot of people may not know about. So if you can stack up cannons, it's good. Right now, we don't have that many good modifiers for them, so it's not as useful, right? But so here, you can see here, we're dealing a lot of damage, and a lot of it is because of our flanking. Though these regiments have reinforced, so they didn't deal as much damage flanking, but you can see our cav were taking a decent bit of hits because they brought units in and their infantry were attacking our cav straight across. So hopefully that explained it enough that you guys have a general understanding of it. Bosnia. We could state up Bosnia. Let's state up Bosnia. Here we go. Nice little casual 7-stack wiped out. You'll love to see it happen, folks. So what we're doing right now, and this is generally my usual phrase that I say, there's multiple phases in a war in EU4. Phase 1 is to destroy as much of the enemy army as you possibly can. Completely destroy them. Gut their armies. Kill them all. Stack wipe them. That will weaken them. It also takes a huge hit to their manpower pool because they're going to start using their manpower to recruit more units. Okay, then phase 2, which we're in right now, is to siege down as much of their territory as possible while not letting them siege land back. So you can see their siege here versus our siege here. 6-day siege ticks versus 35-day siege ticks. We win those base races. We take those base races. So let's have these guys over here. Anytime you can catch out small stacks that are weak, you want to do that. So these guys are heading over there. We're going to wait for them to lock in and go kill them. And then we're going to come over here, kill this stack as well. Shift consolidate, unless you're going to get the monthly tick. Generally, you wait till after the monthly tick. If you plan to shift consolidate, get those guys in here. And then we win this fort over here as well. And then, you guessed it, if you hadn't already, we carpet siege down everything we can while keeping all their units back. That was a stack wipe, actually. Oh, my. Okay. I wouldn't have expected that, but that's pretty good. So then, yep, carpet siege, as they have still a ton of men, but you have to remember a lot of them are British. Look at that. England has 22,000 units, and they're not bringing them over. And even if they did, this navy right here is patrolling. They'll wipe them all out. So we're in a good spot. So now, phase 2 is well underway. We are currently in the process of clapping them and getting them all, getting them full occupied over here in Hungary. But even more importantly is we're stacking up the war exhaustion. Sadly, Hungary is a subject, so it doesn't count as much. Relative war score will help us out. It doesn't help. That's the downside about sieging down subjects, is it's not as beneficial. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these guys over here after they win that, and we're going to teleport this general over there, have these guys siege down Vienne, and then get a general over here so he doesn't get stack wiped. And what this is going to do is once we get onto Vienna, you can see here, he's probably going to drop down. Yeah, his enthusiasm dropped down quite significantly. So we are 9 years ahead of time on admin, and we have the opportunity to take tech. I'm not so sure. I think we actually need to turn this up just a little bit as well. It's a little quiet. I'm not too keen on taking it this far ahead of time. We're also gaining a ton because Mehmet is a legend. Ooh. Okay, this looks different. I like this. I think Artemis updated this UI here. Looks good. A lot of people may not like Artemis UI. It's definitely an acquired taste for some. I don't need the inflation. I definitely don't need admin, so I'm not going to worry about it. Inflation is something that you'll just accrue over time if you have gold provinces, which we do. It looks like our gold province over here is actually depleted, which is, you know, a bummer. So I'm actually going to spend some mana to get that dev'd up. I probably should have used the edict, but that's okay. But yeah, as we're over here sieging down Vienna, very quickly, might I add. I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever had siege ability like I have in this campaign. Never. It's kind of nuts. So here we go. I'm also going to scorch this province here just because it's highlands, and it would be nice for us to bait them into a fight there. These guys want to sit there. I will base race them there. That is no problem. We cannot click the button here, so it's fine. I don't mind. The local goods produced on one province is not an issue. These guys are heading in there. Sadly, they're going to get there before us, but it doesn't matter because we are bigger, stronger, and faster. So we'll just wipe out their unit, their armies. Okay, whenever you're looking at who you want to hire, generally when you're in a war, you want to get advisors that give you bonuses to your combat ability, so morale or discipline. I'm going to hold on to this guy, though, and see if we can fish for a better advisor here. Yeah, I don't care about the Ulema influence. Vienna has been won. No, they're coming over here to kill off my units. My boys. Look what they did to my boys. Look what they did to my boys. All right. Well, we're going to get these guys grouped up over here. See if we can kill off some Austrians. Teleport. We can't. So I'm not going to teleport him in, but I will have those guys come in. They will be there on the 29th. These guys would be getting here on the 1st, so we actually don't need to worry about them. So shift consolidate again. And there you go. We can probably wipe this stack out here. They have a 2-star general, though. Yep. But their casualties are so much heavier than ours. There you go. Get a morale advisor. I'm okay with a morale advisor. So we're currently focused on mill. I'm kind of okay with that. Generally, if you're going to be ahead on all time on all your techs, if you can be getting one mana type, mill is the one to do. So we're going to go with mill. And again, shift consolidate. And at this point, we can literally take whatever we want. So we don't have any claims over here, so it's going to be expensive for us to take. I will take this one since I have a claim here. And then I will take one province here for Transylvania, and I'll take one province for Croatia. And there is no easy way to say it. You just have, this is something that you just kind of pick up over time, but you can see Croatia's got cores on all of these provinces here. And I'm going to release them from the highest dev, and it's a fort. So it's one less fort in the area that you need to worry about. It's quite useful. So we're going to go with that. So 3 provinces, and it's a shorter truce, which means we'll be able to attack them sooner rather than later. And I don't need any finances from it, so I'm not going to take it. So I'm just going to peace out there. And then you go back to your menu over here, Z. And then Transylvania. Transylvania is released. They have defensive and offensive ideas. Okay, so this is an example. I think I had mentioned before that there are tags that are much more useful as a march than Crimea. Because Crimea is a horde. It took horde government. That's okay. But these guys here took defensive and offensive ideas, and they have fort defense built into their ideas. So, and cav combat. Basically, these guys are going to be a really good vassal to have. So if we take a look at Transylvania, fort defense plus defensive. Defensive is an additional 20. So right now, their defensiveness is already very high, right? If we make them a march, which we're going to for sure, you can also send them officers. You can do that to these guys as well. Basically what it does is it sends them a little bit of money and it gives them bonuses to their combat ability. And I like to have my smaller marches especially be siege guys or supportive and stick to me. Croatia, on the other hand, is defensive offensive as well, but they, you know, naval force limit, which is a joke because they don't even have a coast right now. Cav combat, it's fine. National tax. So it's like Croatia, not as much a good vassal for military, but they have some reconquest. So that's why we're going to release them. This one I will core on my own, Belgrade. Let's get you guys over here. And now what we do is we take a look at our truce map mode. And somebody had mentioned this in the comments on a couple episodes back. It is definitely best to group your map modes together. Like I have forts and terrain on the same one as unrest. Unrest is kind of a tertiary one. I just have it there because I didn't know where else to put it. But like forts and terrain make a little bit more sense to see together. Political, imperial, that's a political map mode of sorts. States and territories, internal stuff. And then religious leagues is also like a political thing. Trade, development, trade goods, all of those are related in some way. So that's why I like to kind of group them together. So yes, hopefully that is helpful. Ragusa has left our coalition because they know that they're going to get their butt cheeks clapped if they try anything funny. All right, let's suppress some rebels over here. Build some production. We're losing a bit of money here. So I'm going to... And you can do this every once in a while, so I just recommend checking it and exploiting that base dev because that's a lot of money we're going to be getting. And it'll all go to use because what you do is you get this money, invest that money into building buildings, which allow you to play tall in a way. For example, if we wanted to, if we needed the manpower, we don't need the manpower, so I'm not going to build them, but we could build these, which are very useful. Trade is good, but like I said, I'm not really too worried about trade in Ragusa. Though the more trade we have over here, the more trade the less will get steered out of there, but it doesn't look like much is getting steered out anyway, so I don't really care. Forts are good. Could probably build a fort in Crimea. Probably should build a fort over here as well. It would communicate with these guys. So let's build a fort there. Actually, no, I don't care about that fort. So our truce with the Mams is the one that will be coming up next. And then you can see we got our claims over here and we have truces with these lads. So it's best to shift our sites back over here. We have tons of claims on Mams and tons of claims on the QQ and claim on Trebizond. So if we attack them, we can co-belligerent QQ actually, who Theodora will also be called in. We can co-belligerent them. Circassia doesn't matter. That will allow us to annex them, as well as take Lay from them. It'll cost Diplo because we're going to definitely be separate piecing them, but that's okay. So let's have you guys head over there with him and then have these guys. And it's N. N is the hotkey to assign a general. N. And then if they have a general right there, you double tap N and it assigns that general. So that's the hotkey for that. Now we're going to be able to get Miltech during this, so which would be really good for us as well. So let's have you guys get killed and then have them come back over there. Looks like my little navies are getting beat up on, sadly. Still have these guys hunting for enemy fleets. These guys are going to come and handle... Oh my gosh, the siege ticks. Look at this, dude. 8-day siege ticks. Got some rebels somewhere. Catholic zealots. Let's have you guys, like half you guys head over there. And then have you guys grouped up over there. Prestige. We're maxed out on prestige, so I'm good with just losing a little bit because we'll get it back over the next couple of months. So it's no big deal. And colonialism is going to spawn soon, so we'll finally be able to click this button and spend some dev. So it's a good thing that we have a bunch of devs saved up, right? I haven't dev'd admin yet because haven't dev'd anything yet because we're waiting. We're going to end up running over the limit before that time comes, but that's okay. All right, Theodoro has been won. I'm going to give it... Does he have a claim on it? I have a claim on it, so we'll take it for ourselves and we'll just give it to Crimea. These guys over here will come and get occupied. Let's get these guys over to Trebizond. Very good. Navy is over here clapping a couple of their units. Yes, they did. We stack wiped their Navy. Very good. Come over here. Looks like there is no navies left. Trebizond and QQ. Where's QQ's navy? Probably all down in Basra. So what you do is we're going to come over here and blockade these lads. And that should work out quite well. See, they're really defensive over here. But see, let's take a look here. I have this fort here, 10%. If I give it to Crimea, it's 20%, which is pretty good. Give it to Transylvania, and it's 55%. That's quite significant here. That is quite significant. So I definitely don't want this guy over here. A disease outbreak. Philip Tudor, huh? So we have a Tudor on the throne of Austria-Hungary, who inherited Burgundy. Oh my goodness gracious. That's a little nuts. Let me see here. I was doing a little bit of editing for my my headset and or my audio interface, and it seems like the music is a bit loud in my headphones, so I'm gonna have to turn that down, but I can do that easily enough. I'll have to do that after we're done with this episode. But I hope that you guys appreciate twice daily episodes, because I've been enjoying it quite a bit. A little bit of manpower dev, a little bit of admin dev. Yeah, I know. You're not supposed to dev admin. It's fine. If you have to, like, what else am I going to do with it? I haven't conquered enough land that I need to worry about it, you know? Again, 35 because it's a defensive province. Give it to Transylvania, 80. It's really, really good. That means if the so to explain it again, I don't pay for it. And even more importantly, my enemy, if they want to siege it down, is going to have much longer siege ticks than I would. So I didn't even realize that QQ is in a war over here as well. We can still get innovativeness for this, so we'll take it eventually. Oh, see, somebody took it for innovativeness. Oh, somebody took mill for innovativeness. So we can wait to the yearly tick, take mill, get the innovativeness. Admin, we can just take whenever we feel like it. So I'm going to separate piece these lads. All your trade power and all your money. And, very good. I want to get these guys over here, not because they have any units, but because they have... Well, let's actually... Let's do this. Let's split you guys off here. I would rather just lose the stab, because we have plenty of admin to spare, so it's fine. So we're going to head over into... Well, neutral territory is what I wanted to do here. We're going to have these guys head back over. So yeah, these guys are in... It's considered hostile territory because we are in a province occupied by... QQ. So we're going to split off a couple of infantry, have them hang out here, have these units come back over here, leave the cav behind and have the cav come out of there. Basically, there's no reason to have all your infantry just get absolutely nuked. So remember, and I'm pretty sure these guys cost extra. No, they do not. Oh yeah, reinforcement cost is extra. So it's best to be mindful of that. So yeah, oh no, they're sieging down my vassal. Whatever will I do? Who cares? We're good. Have these guys carpet siege down over here, because we're going to need to get quite a bit of occupations done. Constantinople base tax of 28. I have an idea for that. Again, 35, 80. Transfer the forts over to your marches. You will thank me later. I'm keeping an eye on this. I'm not going to miss another one. Good siege ticks. All right. So I'm going to transfer this back over to myself. Can I take you? I can annex them. 19 AE, that's fine. Or 18 AE, that's fine. Pope Man will be mad, but I don't really care. Austria, I don't care about, because we're going to attack them as soon as our truce is over. The Diplo is a little painful, but it's fine with me. I'm not going to core it, because I'm going to give it to Crimea to core after the war is over. So all is well. They're sieging down a couple of their provinces. I don't care, really. That's a 3-star general they got there. 464. Not bad, man. So in this war, I will take as much as I can. Right, he's a co-belligerent. So we're going to have to beat them up there. Wow, they paid to barrage those walls. Either that or they had a really lucky wall breach. Let's pull these guys over here. On the yearly tick, we're going to take Miltech. Next one, I've mentioned this before, meritocratic recruitment is definitely the way to do it. Loyalty for the merchants as well as advisor cost is just really strong. It translates to a lot of money in the long term. So meritocratic recruitment is S tier. Always take that one. Won the siege of Tabriz. Let's get over and occupy as much of this land as possible. And let's have these guys grouped up over here. And in a couple of days, we need to take that. Hopefully we don't lose that fort. I'm going to switch these guys over. So hockey for this, click a province. If you have a province selected, it's S, I believe. Your hotkeys may not be the same as mine, but mine is S, and then it's D to open up this menu. So if you want to set a state edict on, click the province, S, D, and then you click the defensiveness right there. So that's some good defensiveness. Yeah, so these guys are going to siege down over here. It's not really a big deal. I don't really have any cannons in this stack. These guys are all getting siege down over here. I would like to get them off of that. They're probably going to get... Oh, they actually got off that fort. That's really good. Ah, I missed it. See, I'm so dumb. I said I wasn't going to miss it, and I missed it. Anyways, as long as I can still get innovativeness, I'm going to hold on to it. That's the second time I've done that. Apologies, friends. Let's get a general. Oh my gosh, what a god tier general. Ishak Gurchu. I don't know how you say this names. These names are not names I know how to pronounce. All right, that should be a wipe. These guys should get carpet siege down over here. Let's have you guys siege this province back real quick. They're not doing anything over here, so I don't care. And here's a nice little tip here. I have spare mill mana, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you something. If we were to get a wall breach, we could rush this down. We don't have any cannons on this, so you're less likely to get a wall breach. So what you do... Well, actually, I have no cannons, so I can't pay for the wall breach. But if we had it, the extra mana, what you would do is you would rush this down, because when it's got a low garrison, it's much easier to take it back over. But I guess with between our siege ability and all that stuff, we're good to do what we need to there. So let's have these guys siege down everything we need. There you go. All right, so somebody's taking Diplo. So on the yearly tick, we're going to take Diplo tech. Looks like we're about to max out on mill mana. So spend a bit of mill mana. You could be min-maxing and make sure you're setting on the edicts for and everything, every province you're doing, but I'm pretty keen on just deving indiscriminately. So we're going to take as much as we can here that we're needed for the peace deal, as well as Trebizond. So we may be able to. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be able to do this in 100% peace deal. So a few people will be pretty mad about that, mainly Florence and Ferrara, neither of which will be interested in joining a coalition on the yearly tick. So, sadly. All right, so let's take a look at which ones we need to do. Conquer the Levant. So conquer Bosnia was permanent claims on Austria and claim on Dalmatia. So we're going to hold off on that one still. Conquer Trebizond will give us claim on Kefe, which we already have. So once we conquer this one... Oh, we have to integrate... unfortunate. We'll have to integrate those guys. But that's fine. So conquer Mesopotamia is all of these provinces over here. So I have a claim on Arbil, but I don't need that province. So let's switch those out there. And yep, on the yearly tick, we won't be, those guys won't be able to join. So we should be okay with that. They wouldn't accept that piece, so we're going to have to do a little bit more occupation, and that's fine. Let's have you guys do something along these lines here. Get you over there with him. And hopefully colonialism will spawn here on the yearly tick. For those who do not know, colonialism is an institution that spawns anywhere after the year 1500 if somebody has taken Quest for the New World, which is exploration ideas, and has discovered either North or South America. And it happens on the yearly tick is when it calculates whether or not it's going to fire. So that is what we're doing. Here we go. We're going to take our cannons and get them over here on this fort there. Basically just stacking up as much war score as possible. Still nobody taking admin, which is good. It means we can spend more mana on it, on deving it. Here we go. And on the early tick, just so I don't forget, we're going to take it. Here's Diplo. And what you can see there is we just unlocked some upgrades for our ships. So you're going to pull these ships in, upgrade them, detach the busted ones, and I guess we don't really need any of them. So just have them join up with that fleet whenever they're done there. And colonialism didn't spawn, otherwise a pop-up would happen. So now we just wait. Every year on the yearly tick, it will calculate whether or not it will spawn. Here we go. So you can see here, Pope Man could join, but that's it. That's it. So Pope Man hates us, I'm sure. Yeah. So I don't know. What's our truce with these guys look like? 05. So we got plenty of time. We don't really need to worry about that. Spend some mill mana. If you can't get institution or can't get what's it called? Innovativeness, just dev. It's fine. So this is fine, I suppose. We'll take his money. And with that, we will yoink this dev over here. Everything else is already stated. No, not this one, but it looks like we've already yoinked it, or it's been yoinked recently. Core that all up, and there you go. These borders are looking better by the day. So we're going to take you guys here, get you all in Baghdad, since Baghdad is a farmlands province, so better force limit. Terrain affects force limit for a bunch of things. You can see here plus 10 for farmlands. Hills is only plus 5. Highlands is plus 6. Where are we at here? Mountains or desert is plus 4. Drylands is plus 7. What is mountains? Plus 4. So terrain affects how many men you can keep in there. And then based on the amount of development you have, it will scale accordingly. So we are no longer a valid rival of the Mamluks. Interesting. So our PP is going to be maxed out for a long time. So that's really good. Let's revoke that embargo. Let's rival Castile, I guess. Who cares? Conquer Mesopotamia, which gives us permanent claim on Bahrain and Basra, which is just over here, which is good. That means we can start making our way over into India, and I can start teaching you guys a little bit more about trade here. So we lost our guy. Let's go with the inflation reduction. That's fine. We already had whatchamacallit, the radical reform, so we don't have to worry about that happening. But oh, nice. I love that event. Comets just happen every once in a while, unless you have innovative ideas, which we do. Oh wait. Hopefully I didn't click the wrong thing. But yeah, sadly. Generally, if you're gonna stab up, you want to wait till you core up your provinces. But since we have so much extra admin, I don't care. You can be a lot more efficient than the way I'm being in this run, admittedly. So what I'm doing right now is what's called a shuffle split. I'm sending half of this stack and half of that stack to go meet each other. What that does is that allows you to roughly split them equally. So coalition is reforming. It's probably not going to fire. If it does fire, oh yep, see it's dismantling right now. So people know that they can't fight me. Okay, local autonomy is fine with me. I can just grant you autonomy and boom. And everybody's loyal, but we plan to dev because when the institution spawns, we're going to dev it instantly. So we're not going to yoink Crown Land quite yet because we want to make sure that we have our burgers and everybody loyal. As far as this one goes, none of these are particularly useful for us at this point. I encourage you to read through them if you are interested in anything particular, but we still have our war taxes on. We're actually losing a ton of money right now. We are maxed out on mill mana again. Hopefully I haven't been deving this province by accident. Looks like I may have once, but not bad. Just waiting for the yearly tick to happen so we can hopefully get it. Where is all of our money going? Army maintenance, rooting out corruption. Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah, rooting out corruption just accrues when you're in a position that you've just conquered land. So you just got to embrace it, pay it down. Once you core up the provinces, obviously it'll go back down. So yep, unrest is good. I think that's a good place to call for the episode. Quite a bit of AE. So you can see here the AE map mode is pretty bad. It's going to be a matter of juggling a lot of truces, but it should be okay. I hope you guys are enjoying the campaign, and if you are, let me know. Leave a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Check out my subreddit, Discord, Twitter, anything like that. They're all linked in the description below the videos, and if you want to support me, I have a Patreon also linked in the description below. But that's all I got for you for today. This is Chewyshoot, and I'll catch you guys later.